as always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
Easy choice for me. I had to go with Jayda Coleman. No big deal. Just the NFCA Player of the Week and the Big 12 Player of the Week. Listen to the series she had. Not bad. 3 games. So 13 of 14 on base of her 14 at bats, 6 of 7, hit 857 in the series, scored 8 runs, walked 7 times, had 3 multi-hit games in a row. So Jayda Coleman's got it going. I think she's batting like 460 something right now in that leadoff spot. Walked like 30 something times, and she only has like, I think she's like 2 or 3 strikeouts on the season. Just incredible.
I don't know a lot, but she's real good.
Yeah.
Real
Yep.
good.
And she's
And
probably the best fielder on the team at that center field spot.
how excited are you for the Texas matchup this weekend?
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. What do they rank? Like 4 or 5, I think. So
Do
it's
do we still hate Mike White?
yeah, yeah, I think so.
I
I mean,
just
it's fun too, right?
no, I didn't say it wasn't fun. I just haven't, and maybe it's still a couple days till the series starts, but I just haven't seen the usual amount of Mike White hate that I feel like I see from the fan base on Twitter before we play them. And maybe it's coming.
Good point. Yeah, it's going to happen, especially after they listen to the podcast. We need to let's crank it up out there. Listen, we can't be the fan base that holds a grudge better than anyone else, and it already be Wednesday. We're not talking about Mike White yet.
I am excited. That Saturday night, what isn't it Saturday night? Prime time on ABC? Or is it
I
no, it's
think so.
ESPN. It's
Is
ESPN,
it
I think.
ESPN? Yeah.
That's gonna be cool. That's a big one.
Primetime ABC is the Renegades Saturday night against St. Louis.
As
AJ
as
McCarron,
as you always say, Oklahoma's just the center of the sports universe.
right? Right?
That was a
Oh,
good one.
by the way, um, OU has had four straight Big 12 Players of the Week, 4 different players, 4 consecutive weeks. Pretty amazing.
I'm just not surprised by anything now with the program.
I I know. I
We're
know.
so
You got
spoiled when it comes to softball. It's ridiculous.
it's crazy.
All right, who do you have as your loser of the week?
I had to go with OU men's hoops,
Oh,
or what's left of them. Jalen Moore. Come on, man. Come on.
please stay, Jalen
Come
Moore.
on. Come on. Please
It
stay.
was early in the season, Jalen Moore, and I was telling people, hey, he's our best player. He's the best athlete we got. Just wait. He's going to
Yep.
come on. And you did. You ended up being really, really good. Please stay.
Please stay. Yeah. McCollum in the portal, Uzan, Owe. Yeah, it's
Hughley.
Hughley. We're starting over. We've rinse and repeat on building an entire new roster.
I feel bad for Porter, man. And I
I
know that
know.
it's his job to retain his guys. Like I understand that. Now, of course, there's an NIL aspect to all of this stuff, but it just I don't know about you. I just saw a lot of people. It just felt very deflating for the fan
Yeah.
base.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like Porter's been here 3 years, and like the fan base has had 3 entire new teams to learn, essentially, 3 years in a row. And that's not what we love about college sports. What you love about college sports is seeing dumb freshmen come in and screw things up and then get better and better and better. And by the time they're a junior and senior, they're leaders of the team. I mean, the growth of those players is what you love about college sports. It's what sets it apart from everything else. And think about like our last Final Four team, that group stayed together the entire time. They all improved so much as players, and that would not exist in today's world. Like, we'll never have a team like if things stay the way they are, we won't have a team that does something like that to where you know everyone on the team, you're invested in them, you care about them because you've watched them grow, and it's a weird sport to be in right now.
With the way that it is, with the rules how they are right now in college basketball, dude, I'm not sure we're ever going to get that again.
I know.
This isn't only, and that's the thing. Like, I feel bad for OU fans. I feel bad for Porter Moser, but this is happening at all kinds of programs.
Yeah.
And I
I mean,
think
how many transfer guys are in the Final Four right now? I mean, it's
I we're still going to watch the tournament, right? We're still going to watch regular season games, but I'd be lying to you if I said it feels the same as it used to. It just doesn't. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, I feel like I'm still a passionate OU basketball fan, but there's definitely something to what you're saying when it comes to, I don't know, a lack of attachment to the players.
yeah.
Like a lack of a, not to go too deep, but like an emotional connection with the players where you
Well, just
feel
yeah.
invested in them.
As like think about how many young OU fans like go to games and like they have their favorite players. Like they're not just their favorite players. Like they love these guys. Like Baker Mayfield playing all those years at quarterback and Buddy Hill playing all those years and getting bet. Like kids love those guys. You don't have enough time to like in a one and done year to like have it be a part of your childhood from like the year of 8 to 12. Like that's what I remember of that time growing up is watching Buddy Hield play or watching Baker Mayfield in all the like it's going to be like a hodgepodge of different guys. It's weird.
My son will turn 3 in June. He can tell you who Shea is. He can tell you who Giddy is. He can tell you who J Dub is. He can tell you who Chet is. And it's because he's been exposed to them multiple years in a row.
Yeah.
And we watch a ton of OU basketball. And I had him working on the names, but now I got to say, hey, buddy, we got to learn some new names. So it's interesting you bring that up. I hadn't really thought about it. But yeah,
Well,
he can rattle off the Thunder guys.
And it's compounding because I whenever those Baker Mayfield fans grow up and have families, like it's like you want to see. I want to take you to like to where you can have your favorite player, but if these young kids don't ever have like that, it's just not going to be as ingrained. If that makes sense, in like the tradition of families constantly going. I mean, and they're still going to go. I'm not saying they're not going to go, but it's not going to be as ingrained.
Is it possible that we see the women's team maybe become that if we can hold on to Junior Baranchek for a long time? Because I don't know. Maybe it's just college basketball in general, and it's never going to be the same. And I'm just hoping that college football feels a little bit like that now, but not quite to the extreme that college basketball is. So
Yeah. Man, I wish someone would tell these kids, and maybe they have told them, but I don't know. There's like 300 Division I basketball programs. I don't know how many basketball guys there are, but it is hard as hell to go to the NBA to play. And if you're a good, solid basketball player, and you go play at 3 different schools, like, your legacy is there's nothing there. You go play 4 years somewhere, and you don't have to be great, but people are going to remember you and remember the teams, and you can go back there for alumni stuff, or you can live in that town. And you don't get any of that whenever you play at 3 different schools and you spend 1 year. You ain't going to get that.
I think the perfect example, and I brought this up when it happened, Hunter Dickinson, I'm sure he got a nice chunk of change to go to Kansas. He was the man at Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
The man. Whole fan base loved him. And I'm not going to say he threw it all away, but he left that behind to go play the 1 year at Kansas. Mm-hmm. He's got really nothing to show for it. Didn't win the Big 12. Didn't make a deep run in the tournament. What's that mean for the rest of his life? He probably could have done anything he wanted at Michigan.
Yeah.
It's just, I know a lot of these guys are just trying to make as much money as they can in college because, like you mentioned, it's hard as hell to get to the NBA. There's a bunch of overseas options. I understand that, but I just hope that these guys, and I'm not just talking about the guys that are leaving OU, but these guys in general are not giving up a chance at having a legacy somewhere for money that they don't end up getting. Like, I hope they're getting what they're being promised, because it'd be a shame to leave somewhere where you were building something and then I don't know, man. It's complicated.
I'd never be able to convince anyone of this. And, and I totally understand. And I know it sounds really stupid, but that money is so meaningless compared to what it means to play somewhere and have a home, a place where you played, a place where you built lifelong relationships with teammates that you played and fought and went through conditioning together for 4 years. That money is it doesn't mean anything. The experience is the best part about it. And I don't know, maybe I'm being dramatic. Maybe you can still have a great experience playing at 3 different schools, but it sure doesn't seem like you would.
It can't feel the same.
Right.
It can't feel the way that it feels for you and I when we walk on that campus in Norman. It just can't.
Yeah. Can you walk on a campus if you played your junior year there, had a cup of coffee?
It's a great question. We should find someone that's played for 3 or 4 different schools and be like, hey, what's your relationship like with each spot?
No one's gonna know who you are, or I don't know. It's just weird. There's going to be a bunch of nomads in a generation of college athletes that are don't have anywhere to go for alumni day.
Someone that is really good at basketball, come to OU out of high school and play 4 years here. Everyone will love you.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be great. You'll be the guy. You'll have an era to yourself.
This got very deep. I don't know
Yeah.
how we're here, but we are. I wish nothing but the best for
Jalen
Porter
Moore's going to
Moser.
be that guy.
Come on, Jalen Moore. You can be that guy,
He
Jalen.
could be that guy.
All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
All right, listen up, Oklahoma sports fans. Don't miss your chance to meet some local star athletes and support our state. Join OU legend Sterling Shepard, OU pitcher Kelly Maxwell, and Hooper Peyton Verhulst, and more at the Oklahoma State Capitol on April 8th for the American Heart Association Rally Day. They're rallying for crucial legislation to ensure cardiac emergency plans are in place at schools across Oklahoma. Every year, thousands of young athletes and fans across the country suffer from sudden cardiac arrest. Having proper emergency plans in place saves lives. So mark your calendar for April 8th to rally with Sterling Shepard at the Oklahoma State Capitol. Visit heart.org/Oklahoma for more information.
and attention, business owners, you need Insurica in your life. Insurica is one of the country's largest insurance brokers with 30 offices throughout Oklahoma, Texas, and the Southwest. Insurica is able to customize programs by accessing the latest information from many insurance carriers. They compare and contrast coverage offerings and pricing in order to design a cost-effective, comprehensive program to meet your business's specific needs. If your business partners with Insurica, you'll save huge amounts of money and take control of your total cost of risk. If your business wants to be best in class, connect with Insurica at insurica.com. That's INSURICA.com. And head to oplusclothing.com. You are just, I really hope people
Oh
are
my
listening to the
God.
ads this episode. They are just fantastic. You want
Head
it?
to head to oplusclothing.com for our podcast merchandise and the best OU gear out there. That's OPOLIS clothing.com and use promo code TED, TED for 10% off. That's oplusclothing.com. Use promo code TED for 10% off. Buttery soft and 10% off.
12.3 million people were watching,
Whew.
and Caitlin Clark delivered. My winner of the week.
Mm.
There were so many storylines coming into that game, right? The rematch between Iowa and LSU. I don't know. There couldn't have been much more hype than there was around that game. And Caitlin Clark comes out there and drops 41, 12 assists, 7 boards, and walks away with the win. I mean, factor in all the circumstances, Ted, that's one of the better performances we've seen in a long, long time in college basketball. Dude, that
Yeah.
was awesome to watch.
Was
And
she
that
at
first
nine
half,
threes or
oh,
something
yeah,
crazy like
dude.
that?
And some of them, it was that helpless feeling when you're watching Steph Curry when he's just torching your team. Like that's how where it's just anything he puts up's going in. She was in that type of zone. I've got questions for Kim Mulkey about how they approach her with their defensive plan. I got lots of questions, but after losing to them in the title game last year and all of the stuff that has been discussed leading up to that game, for her to come out and to play that way, man, stud.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I think it's fair to say that uh, she's a superstar, and so is Angel Reese and those girls on the LSU squad. But I did you see the list of of football games that didn't have as many viewers? The only regular season college football game that had more viewers was Ohio State, Michigan. And I think the only games that in postseason that had more were the championship and the playoffs and maybe another bowl game. But after that, that's it. I mean, that's massive numbers. Massive.
She is head and shoulders, not even close, the biggest star in college basketball.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she just, and it's honestly interesting that she's going to, I'm interested to see what type of effect she has on the WNBA when she gets there. I think that's going to be really interesting to monitor.
Yeah.
But looking at this game, I was really impressed with Iowa. That team was playing faster than LSU. I did not
Yeah,
see that coming.
they look good. They look good. Yeah, it was wild, and they held it together at the end, and LSU just couldn't close the gap on them. But yeah, I mean, in a game where I don't remember what the was it like 9 million or something that watched the championship last year.
Yeah.
I when you're going into a game and you know that there's going to be maybe more eyeballs on that game than any other women's basketball game in the history of the sport. I and to be able to go out there and perform under those circumstances is impressive.
No doubt. I I'm very excited to watch Iowa UConn. That's going to be awesome. But I want to see Iowa South Carolina in the national title game.
Yeah.
I- Isn't that what everyone wants to see? Just to
Yep.
see if Caitlin Clark can pull that off.
Yeah. Yep. That's what everyone wants to see. And man, it's crazy. It's been 2 or 3 really good years for women's hoops. Like they got it rolling pretty good. And with how good softball has done, and that sport's growing and doing really good viewership numbers. Got some good stuff rolling.
Yeah. The Caitlin Clark train rolls on. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should be its hit. I think it is gonna. I think the women's Final Four is gonna do big time numbers. So I think that if you are one of those people that are tired of the Caitlin Clark coverage,
Better
tough
go
luck.
find a cave. Yeah.
Yeah, better find a rock to crawl under.
Yeah. It's interesting with her. It's almost like you could like could maybe make more money outside of the WNBA. It's interesting. They've never had a star like that. They've had some big stars.
Yeah, I just don't know if she can make it. Like, can she take this momentum and bring it to the WNBA?
Yeah.
I mean, people can predict it one way or the other, but no one knows. I think it's going to be fascinating to find out. Either
Yeah.
way, she is going to make a fortune off the court.
Yes. Yep.
And she always has the opportunity to go play overseas. There's a lot of people that are going to want to have her on their team.
And they make
Whether
don't
it's
they make more money overseas, the
yeah, some
women's
of them.
hoops? Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see how it works out, but I will enjoy watching her last couple of college games.
Oh yeah.
Loser of the week. Thought about going with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Had them. Had the 76ers. Embiid made his comeback. Thunder didn't have Shea, didn't have J-Dub, and we're still in such a great position to get a road win. And then 22-9 run to close the game for the 76ers. Things got tight, and you didn't have your two go-to guys. I think that was their first game to not have one of those two guys, and it kind of showed.
Mm-hmm.
There looked like there was a little confusion, maybe a little hesitancy, but ultimately you've got 3 wide open looks to tie the game and probably send it into overtime. And Isaiah Joe misses 2 wide open threes, and Jalen Williams misses another. This is a frustrating loss, Ted. I was happy to see Embiid back. I didn't think he looked particularly good, just physically. He's wearing an O-line knee brace. Never what you want to see.
It's
But
got to be like this long.
the biggest knee brace you've ever seen. But I was just a little disappointed. We'll see if Shea and Jada play against Boston. I think that's the game that everyone's really, really excited about if those two guys can go. But had it and let it slip away.
Mm, mm, mm.
I want that number 1 seed. I want it real bad.
You think they'll get there?
I don't see why not.
How many games are left? It's got to be 8, 7. I mean,
Talk about something so I can look it up really quick. Say
hmm,
something insightful, Ted. They are 52-23. So that is 75, meaning they have
6,
7 games
7
left.
games. Yeah. That would be crazy though if they got the 1 seed. That would be crazy.
Currently in a 3-way tie for first with Minnesota and Denver. However, Denver, I believe, is about to beat San Antonio, so that could look a little different.
And did you say, I feel like you said one week they had the tiebreaker against Minnesota,
They also have the tiebreaker against Denver.
against Denver. Okay.
So we'll see.
Mm.
But my loser of the week, people, if you don't like big men, not your week.
Mm.
Purdue, NC State on Saturday, Ted. I cannot wait to watch DJ Burns and Zach Edey go at it. And I know there's a lot more to that matchup than those two guys, but it's what I'm excited to watch. I don't really care about the other players. And Purdue's a big favorite. I think 8.5-point favorite. But there's no chance I'm betting against NC State right now. Did you see the line of people that were at the Applebee's in Raleigh to see DJ Burns? I mean, come on, man. He's the man of the people.
He is. He is. I'm with you though. I, it's a little bit of a throwback. I think it's great. Here's the thing. I I don't like watching basketball where they dump it down to the post every single play. Come down the floor and get it to the biggest guy on the floor. I'm not a fan of that. But what I like is variety. I like variety. I like a little bit of inside game, a guy with his back to the basket. And then you could hit some threes, you could run a transition. All that stuff's great, but I want to see a little bit of everything in a hoops game.
Completely agree. I am I'm definitely a fan of space and some pace, but I'm excited to watch DJ Burns feed the big fella. I want to see him go to work.
Yeah.
Got to stay out of foul trouble against Edey. That could be tough.
Oh man, but that running left-handed hook, man, isn't it nice?
The I am going to cheer so loud when he makes the first one of those over Edey. I feel like everyone's going to be cheered for NC State because of him.
Oh yeah. And what's the deal? Why does everyone hate Edey so much?
I don't know if people hate him. I just think he's gigantic. So people are like, what is this? Like, of course he's good at basketball. He's 7'4". This is so boring to watch. A lot of people don't like the fact that he gets so many foul calls. Now,
Yeah.
it appears, if my social media timeline is any indicator, that he has earned some more respect from a video of him that was circulating this week. But that's we won't go down that road.
That's so funny.
Game on and off the court apparently for Zach
When I
Edey.
saw that video, I had the same reaction as the girl in the background did.
My it's so funny because the best part of that video is how much he has to duck to get underneath the door.
I know. And he's also, I don't know if he's holding a beer can or whatever, but it looks like he's holding a thimble. I mean, it's like disappears in his hand. You can almost not even tell that he's holding it.
So good. But hey, the other game should be a really good one. I just think UConn's an absolute wagon. I don't think Alabama's going to be able to hit enough threes. I think UConn's going to choke the life out of them. But I think it's we talked about the women's side. I think both Final Fours is going to be a lot of fun, man.
Yeah. Yep. I'm. What's NC State's chances, you think, against Purdue?
I'm not betting against them. I'm
Yeah.
really not. I I don't think they have anyone that can stop Edey, but I don't think anyone has anyone that can other than
Yeah.
UConn. Klingen,
Yeah.
that may be the matchup we're headed for, and sign me up. I want to watch it.
Yeah. Well,
But I hope
I hope
DJ Burns has 40 and sends them to the championship game.
I for NC State to take Duke out of the tournament and beat North Carolina in the ACC championship, it's already been one hell of a year.
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine?
Their fans have to be so thrilled.
Oh, it's got to be the greatest thing ever.